literally the moment I turned the camera on. And it was even more countryside. It was a tractor. But I just wanted to show off. Don't know if you can see them properly, but these are little like Mickey Mouse lights. They are of different colours. They just don't come up very well on camera. But yeah, my good old boy Edgar is holding them up, as is my shortbread tin filled with bookmarks and 2 boxes. One I found, one made by my grandfather. And there is Road Camelot. And there is Road Camelot from Degree Man, aka my GCSE project. So, yeah, I've just been tidying up, sort of like in time for the new year. Finally switched round the stand books for my PC monitor, because basically the one that was on the bottom, which is now on the top, was a lot bigger than the other ones, and so it was kind of awkward that I couldn't push everything like right to the back. But now I've swapped them over and it is now flush with the wall. But yeah, I had a good Christmas. It was quite fun. Went over to Wales to see the in-laws. It is a very long train from where I'm from. I think it's about 7-8 hours on the train with like one crossover. So my legs were a little bit numb when I got back, but then yeah, had Christmas with my family and then was straight back into work on Boxing Day, which was fun. But to be fair, it wasn't too bad. It was quite a quiet day, as you'd expect, because most people are either hungover or have a food hangover from Christmas. So we weren't too busy, but we did have some kids in getting like present money gifts, which was quite nice. Some of the things I got include, so I'm not going to do like a present haul or anything like that, but I got this one from my in-laws, which is very pretty. It's just got a little mushroom on it and a moon, and it's very pretty. And I got this little one from my parents, which is very cute. It's The Little Frog's Guide to Self-Care. It's by Mabel Equay. I'm not quite sure how you pronounce that, but by her. Drawn by her as well. And it's actually like obviously it's cheesy, but it's also got some pretty decent advice as well. Like, let me see. Yeah, like that one's a good example of one that is actually genuinely helpful, instead of just being like, be a queen or whatever some the jokey ones have. But yeah, so that's that one. And then from one of my friends that I got to see yesterday, look at this little guy. He's so cute. He's very, very sweet. And it was quite funny because I put him, because of the pose he has, I basically put him in my, because I took her satchel down to see her, and he just kind of like sits like some sort of bassinet in my bag. So every time I like opened the bag, it was just like, hello. But yeah, it was a nice quiet Christmas. My nieces and nephews were up at my parents' house for a bit, but they're at least mostly well behaved, so that wasn't too bad. So, but yeah, I've got my Christmas mug still on the go, because even though it's New Year's Eve, I still got that. Still got my festive playlist, though not as consistent. Literally from about, I want to say, November the 19th, the only downloaded music on my phone was my Christmas playlist, and so anytime I was nowhere near an internet connection, which is basically in the countryside whenever I left my house, I had that on with my headphones, just constantly, which was quite nice, honestly. So it was kind of, I definitely got a bit more in the festive spirit this year. I don't live on a main road. I don't know why there's so many cars outside. Also, do you like my little display of my friends? Got an Evie, got a Blavengard. I've got a Build-A-Bear at the back that you can't see. The dog there I've had since I was about 5. The bunny probably about the same time. So, yeah. Some old friends and some new. Speaking of new friends, my partner also got me a Gengar. Because he's one of my faves. I like my spooky boys. But yeah, I kind of just wanted to do a little check-in before, sort of like a last video before the new year. And yeah, once again, for the new year, I'm not going to make any promises about, you know, like videos or stuff like I said. It would be nice to be more, it would be nice to be able to be more consistent. That is really hard to say, but as I've said before, I'm doing this for fun. I'm not doing this as a job or even something I plan to make into a job. I think that would just be far too stressful for me. But you know, if there's anything I want to share, I will do that. Because I think one of the things was I was struggling to think of what to do, and then I was like, I think because it had been so long since I'd previously made a video, I kind of had a bit of an existential crisis about it. I was like, but what do I want to film anyway? Like, anytime I tried to sit down to get ideas, it just, like, they just vanished. I think that was partially because I didn't really have anything to talk about apart from books, and I was like, didn't want to just only be about books, / didn't really even have anything to say about them either. So it was kind of a struggly. But yeah, so all I've got left to do this year is move these that I got yesterday and pick a new bullet journal for the new year, because this was mine for this year. I have stuck a little thing on it. I don't know if you can see that. This is bullet journal 2024. There's nothing interesting. So that was for this year. There you go. Some little sneak peeks of what I've had this year. Got 2024. Because it was the year of the dragon, I believe, this last year. The year of the dragon. Like, I didn't really do anything too fancy with them, because I think if I did anything too fancy, I'd just get stressed. That was, like, because like, February is just a mess. It's just a bunch of, like, random stuff. March was a bit more specific. I don't know why, but I randomly just ended up getting into a bunch of, like, Arthurian stuff. So you've got, like, the sort of, like, chivalry romance and sword stuff, like my habit page and stuff like that. Like, I do like making them fancy. I just struggle sometimes. Like April, I didn't even bother. It was just generic. No fanciness here. But then May, I made it a bit cute because it's the month that me and my partner have our anniversary. But because I usually put in like a little reading log, and then you don't need to see the expenses page. Nobody needs to see that. Then I've got June. See, there we go. Like, I don't really do anything fancy with them. I just, if I feel like being fancy, I'll be fancy, but I don't usually. July ended up shiny themed. I was just in a shiny vibe. So the K-pop band Shiny. So it's got like the blue color that they have as their like thing. Like I said, I'm not quite sure why. It just happened that way. August was just very simple, summery kind of vibe. Like, I quite liked this that I did. Like, instead of having to like title everything, just making it like obvious. And then September, obviously I've got a Harry Potter quote because September is Return to Hogwarts, obviously. But yeah, little pumpkins. And then October, obviously spooky month. So just got all the spookiness in there. The rest of it I just wrote in orange pen. I was not that fussed apparently. November, quite simple once again. It's just the autumn leaves. So I miss you most of all, my darling, when autumn leaves start to fall. Nat King Cole. Because I also obviously make an autumn playlist like every month. Not every month, every year. December, once again, simple, just a tree to signify the fact that it is the Christmas month. I kind of made my habit trackers kind of funky this month because I was like, they don't all have to be the same shape. And then I had like a present guide thing as well, just to like check that I got everyone something. And then yeah, I've just been basically filling in the sort of like back of it with just like end of year reflections and plans for the new year. But I've just been sort of like writing stuff down and sort of like just journaling, but just with that specific idea. Like trying to come up with some New Year's resolutions and not doing what I did this year, because if I show you the things that I was like, oh yeah, these are the kind of things I want to do this year, like look at that, like you don't even have to read any of them, it's just. And then I was like, oh, I'll break them down to make it easier. I'm like, no, you just made yourself more stressed. Like, why did you do this to yourself? So I think this year I literally have 4. And literally one of them is just like, get out of the house more. Because I think a lot of the sort of like reasons why I've been sort of like so sluggish, I guess, is that I haven't left the house much because like the shop's getting busier, which is good from obviously like a business point of view and sort of like a shop worker's pride point of view. It is good. It's just taking me a while to adjust to the fact that we are now busy. Like for some shops, like 200 a day is what we were kind of getting over Christmas, and for them that's their normal, which I get, but at the same time they also have a bigger store and more staff, whereas for us that was a lot. At least for me that was a lot. I don't know how anyone else felt, but yeah. So I have sort of like 3 options, I guess, for my new bullet journal. So I could go fancy and use this one, which is very nice. Got quite big pages and stuff. Or I can kind of go for a bit more simple and kind of got this denim one or this green one. Both of these are from Kenji. So I need to decide that, do some sort of setup, because I like the idea of doing the gamification thing again, but I need to figure out sort of like what angle I'd want to go with it. So I will figure that out. If I do figure it out, I will probably show you in the new year. What I am currently reading at the moment, because I decided to pick a behemoth for the end of the year, is How the Female Eve. So the book is called Eve, and it's How the Female Body Drove 200 Million Years of Human Evolution by Kat Bohannon, which is this one. And it is a wedge. Though, to be fair, let me just check. All that is notes, so it's actually that big, which is still quite large, but it's not that large. So this will take me well into the new year, I think. Well, it's a sciencey book to take me into the new year. So yeah, I also got this one the other day when I went out with a friend, because if you don't know, Disney Mirrorverse was, I have to say the word was now, it was a sort of like yeah, Disney Mirrorverse was a sort of like fighting game app that was sort of like based on like a Disney Mirrorverse was a fighting game app that was sort of like based on like an alternate universe version of a bunch of the Disney characters, and Belle is like one of the first ones you get, like both story-wise, and I think, I can't remember if they give her to you or she's just really easy to get to start the game. But yeah, it's very pretty. And yeah, but it closed mid-December, so, which was a shame because I really liked that game, but it was really hard, not in terms of like the gameplay was hard, but it was just like, it was very grindy to level people up, and even by the end of it there were still 3 characters I hadn't pulled, so it wasn't the most forgiving gacha either. So it was a bit of a, because people did say like, yeah, because it's sort of like unforgiving with that kind of stuff, people started dropping off, so it wasn't making that much money, and so it just kind of, so they didn't bother so they finished the story that they had, and then they just didn't bother making any more, I guess, which was a shame because I also didn't finish the story, because in order to do the story you had to level up, and I was struggling to level up, so I couldn't do the story. So, which was a shame because, like I said, I really liked the concept, because she's a sorcerer. But I'm glad that there's still like some media around it available, because yeah, I loved it. And then the other one I got was Fruit Basket's anime illustrations guide, because I haven't finished watching the sort of like remastered one, but I have read all the manga, and from what I can see from what I have watched, because I've watched like the first 2 seasons, it's very in line. If there's anything they changed, it's minor. So yeah, it's just very, I'll obviously only show you like the start, just because, you know, but yeah, it's very pretty. And yeah, I think that's it for this video. Yeah, sorry for all the road noise. I have no idea why there's so many people going down this road. It's essentially a cul-de-sac with a cut through, so I didn't think it would be this busy, but for some reason apparently everyone lives around here and drives 100 miles an hour. But yeah, if you liked that video, give it a thumbs up. Did you guys have a quiet Christmas? Did you have a good Christmas? Was it a noisy one? Were you sort of having to do your own thing? Because I think for some people, especially if they get older, they just and if they're like working retail and stuff, it's just like, because I was quite happy that, because most years I can't go see his family because we're not supposed to take any time off over Christmas and they live so far away. But it was only because my days off lined up that I accidentally had time off work, essentially. So it wasn't a holiday, it was just like days between work. So there was enough days to make it worth travelling there and back. So that was nice. But yeah, I will see you in the new year.